All right, today I'm fishing with it's a 10-foot Duck Commander graphite double touch crappie rod, and I have it with a little 1 inch. Well, it's about a 2 inch. Let me see what they call it. It's monkey milk crappie jig with a 1/8 ounce jig head, and I have 4 pound Mr. Crappie fishing line. It says mono, very limber rod. Usually get it to poke into areas, get to brush. You want to kind of do your pole like this right here and get it to that one little spot and release your line and get it to those brush piles that is may sit up under trees and stuff like that. But that's what we're gonna be focusing on. I'll be fishing a lot slower. I'll be looking at my monitor a lot more. Like right now, I don't know if you could see this on the camera here, but I'm picking up some fish right here, right below us. So we're gonna see if we can drop down to them and get it, and get one of them. And they're sitting at 10 foot. They're sitting at 10 foot. So I have a 10-foot rod. So all I do is line it up with it. 10 foot of line out. I drop down to them nice and slow. I should be right on them. There we go, right there. What we got? Got a bass. Yep, I just said we're gonna catch a bass. And he broke my line. 4 pound test line. Another key thing to when fishing for crappie, long lining anyway, you drop some vertical fishing right where I'm looking for, is you want to tie a loop knot. I don't know if y'all could see that right there, but you're gonna knot is gonna be above the eyelid of the hook. That's what you want. This helps with making your jig sit vertical. Makes it sit natural in the water. Okay, you want to tie it straight onto the hook. But with that being said, you know, if you got some bigs in the area where you're at, like some big crappie, you can still do a loop knot. But what you want to do is tie. We'll use a little heavier duty line. You know, where I'm at, the crappie, you know, they may get, you know, big as 12, 13 inches long. And for the most part, they don't really get that much bigger. So I can get away with a little lighter line with fishing brush pile. But that's the look you want to go for, okay? That loop knot, it makes it sit vertical in the water. So you want, the more natural you can do, the better. And then also too, of when selecting crappie baits and stuff like that, there's like a plethora of different types or whatever. Don't get too hung up on the color. Color does matter to a certain extent, but I think the most keynote is to remember, taking account, is what size of the shad that you're fishing for in your fishery. Okay, I have 3-inch crappie baits, and I have 1 inch, 1.5 inch crappie baits, and I have even smaller ones. That's the main biggest difference when I'm trying to figure out what I'm fishing for here. This is my bigger crappie baits. You know, this time of year is probably not the best because, you know, we just had the shad hatch, so the shad, you know, they're typically a little bit smaller. So I probably won't throw those. I'll be throwing the smaller ones, okay, which would be these size here. In comparison of the two, that's the big difference right there. See the different sizes? So you want to match the size of the fish that or the shad or the bait that they're actually feeding on. Don't get too hung up on the colors. The size matters, okay? Will the fish still bite the big ones? Yes. But I'm looking to put dinner on the table today, so I'm fishing for numbers today. But colors don't really matter that much. If I'm catching them and let's say they just stop biting, I'll switch up the color then and show them something different. That's why I think the color comes into play. But just keep that in mind when crappie fishing. It can be frustrating. They are a little temper tantrum, and you know, colors do affect them a little bit, but not so much. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking on the fish finder here. I'm seeing crappie. They're sitting at 10 foot, so we're gonna see if we can drop down here to them. You're dropping down nice and slow. The water is cold, so you're not going to do a lot of movement. In fact, probably no movement at all. Just slight movement, just very slow. And you probably, if you got the shakes like me, too many years in the army, that's probably more than enough movement. A slight movement. It's another reason I like fishing in them when it cools down. Is you generally have the area to yourself. This is my second day fishing. I haven't seen anything. Not one person. Just myself. I could come out here and kayak naked and nobody would probably even know. But if you put your fishing poles and stuff up when it gets cold, I advise you to take them back out. In fact, I think you should fish more when it's cooler. You're kind of missing some of the best fishing, if you ask me. I catch some bigs when the water's cool. All my PPs came during the wintertime. Just about all of them. I think I might have came off of them. Let's ease back up here nice and slow. Now, my kayak is equipped with a trolling motor. And typically I would use my paddles when I'm fishing creeks instead because, you know, shallow water. But this creek here in particular, it's really deep. See here, I got some coming up on the fish finder right here. This creek is really deep, so I don't have to worry about spooking the fish so much. But I mean, you're not gonna spook the smaller ones, but the bigs, the older ones, the grandpas and grandmas, they'll spook off really easy. Oh, that's a bunch there. We're at 10 foot. That is a lot of crappie here. We have a natural brush pile here, meaning it's an old one. And it is absolutely loaded with fish. I don't know if they're gonna bite, but we'll see. I mean, they're right here. I don't know if y'all are picking that up. I do not know how I can get bit on that. It is a ton of crappie there. If you see them on the brush pile and they're not doing anything, you could try switching up the lure. But what I'll generally do, I'll just go ahead and move off of them and come back and try them again. Oh Lord, we got one on. It's a big one. Oh, oh really? crappie fishing, and this is what I catch. A big old damn spotted bass. Crappie jig. What is going on? That is a nice one there. I had to switch up locations because I wasn't getting any bites, but I think I might need to switch up and start doing some bass fishing because this is crazy. I've caught like a couple of bass. I thought it was just a fluke, but I guess not. Fish on. Started out in the creeks and wasn't getting anything. I decided to come out here on the main, on these between 2 points here, and seemed like that's where the fish are sitting at. Didn't have my camera on me because I thought it was just a fluke, but that's like 3 in about 5 minutes. Let's see if it's any more out here. I don't know. Gonna see.